Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, we're in the M3, Cole's here. So today is going to be a fun one. We don't have to get dirty. We're inside the car and we should stay inside the car the whole time. It is raining. It sucks that it's raining. It's like the first day it's rained in a fucking month, and it just so happens to be when I'm installing this new Renown steering wheel. And we're going to open it up in a second. I just got to cover up this address and then we should be good to go. So yeah, let's get right to it. Okay, so recently I picked up a wheel from Renown. This is probably the best wheel on their website because everything else, I'm not a fan of NRG, that's why I didn't go with NRG. I actually reached out to Renown previously and they didn't respond to my email, but as soon as I placed an order, they were quick to email. So Renown, if you're watching this, let's work together in the future. Anyways, let's get into this. I got the, and since this isn't a sponsor technically, I don't know what the model of this wheel is called. I really don't, but it's gusseted. It has the M stitching, which is very sweet with the leather. So, oh, and it's got the little engraved Renown. That's pretty sweet. But yeah, I went with this because it's a really deep wheel. It matches the theme of the car thus far with like the shift boot and the shift knob and everything else that's going on. So hopefully this will be a really good addition. And also, because I'm a big guy, I'm a tall one, this should improve kind of the driving feel, in a sense that the wheel will come out a little bit farther to me because I have to sit so fucking far back in this car. So hopefully this will be a painless install. I'm gonna try and get the horn to work, and I'm gonna try and fake out this airbag light. As long as we get the airbag light out, I'll be happy. If the horn doesn't work, or if I can't figure it out, you guys know me, I'm just gonna throw the wheel on and we're just gonna run it like that. But the intention would be to get all of that figured out and sorted so we have a fully operational wheel. We have no more airbag, so I don't know, 90 shit. And race car shit. So as you can see, it's obviously not gonna stick that far out, but fuck, it already looks cool. It's not even in the car. It's got this big shitty wheel behind it. So that's the wheel. Just slap that back there. So I'm gonna be blunt. It was about 300 and I don't know, a lot. I think it was 370 bucks. But I got the hub adapter, the wheel, because you need a hub adapter if you're gonna run the wheel, obviously. Some resistors to fake out the airbag, and like a BMW logo or a horn button. So in this, we have a resistor here. And then this is probably a ground for, I'd assume, maybe the horn. There's some hardware for the wheel, and then hopefully they sent me hardware with the hub. I have more resistors. I ordered, and I'm gonna call Renown on this one. I did order 3 resistors and they sent me 1, so hopefully I don't fuck it up. I shouldn't, but I ordered 3 to be safe. I received 1, so I'll just have to be extra careful. This is the BMW horn button. I'll go over this really quickly. Just pop that bad boy in the wheel. It's a BMW logo as opposed to the Renown one, just so you get that OEM look. You got your positive and negative here for the horn, assuming that we put that together. And yeah, that's that. I think that's it for the bag. Alright, so this is the hub adapter, and it's heavy, so good build quality, I'd assume. This is 80 bucks. I'm assuming you need this. This is why I bought it. I didn't do research on whether or not I needed this, but it said E30, E36, blah, 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 and I bought it. So, I don't know. But you guys can see, that is gonna sit very far out and closer to me, which is a good thing, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out how this whole thing works. I haven't really had a briefing period to like go over and see how to install this, so I'm gonna watch a video in the car. We're gonna figure it out. When Renown sent the email, they said, check our video. And a lot of companies have install videos, but they have always proven to never be helpful. So we shall see how helpful this video is. This is a full review and install of the Renown wheel. So let's get it. Okay, so sorry for the grainy footage. We're currently in a hurricane, but other than that, I obviously watched videos to brief myself on this. Obviously, we don't know how to just fucking do this. I've never done a steering wheel. I've done a lot of things. And every time I need to do something, I look it up on YouTube. And you would think this would be like super straightforward, like somebody that makes a YouTube video on it couldn't fuck it up. Well, that's not the case. So I've watched like 4 or 5 videos. Obviously the M3 wheel is different from a non-M wheel. You have, on the non-Ms, there's like a bolt here and a bolt here, and it's like a T20 apparently. I think the guy just had no idea what size he was using. But apparently there's 2 T27s, so was 2, right? Yeah. There's 2 T27s. They're not on the outside of the wheel. They're a lot closer. You can flip the wheel basically vertical up and down like this, so that you have a bolt here and a bolt down here. And then what you want to do, oh fuck, this car sucks, dude. You have this this panel. Chances are if your E36 is like average, it's either not gonna have this or it's already gonna be ready to come off because it'll be disconnected. This sits on the bottom of the column. It's basically just a beauty cover for all the shit that's under there. You just want to pull this off, and then you will see this little orange clip, and it doesn't pop off like any traditional clip. You want to slide this white piece back, and then this orange retaining clip will sit over the harness that it's connected to. It's pretty simple, but obviously you can't just like lay on the floor and like look at it, and I can't, it's fucking raining, so we have to do everything kind of like, you know, not good, like this. So basically, if you have an M car and you're doing this, it's not the same as a non-M, but it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, we're just gonna get this wheel off now, make sure we disconnect everything because we're gonna try and do this right. I'm pretty sure all you need to do is, if you're just trying to pull this wheel off, is just fucking, the airbag should be ready to come off. But we're not just doing that, you know, we wanna get all this underneath disconnected so we can wire up the horn and the airbag resistor. So okay, so this is the 16, and a little word of advice. I saw the guy in the video, he pulled the nut all the way off, but what I'm gonna do is just crack it super loose so there's still threads, so when you shake the wheel back and forth and you finally get the strength to pull it back, you don't smack yourself in the face. So leave the nut in there partially. At least I think I could do it that way, we'll find out, but that's just a general rule. Also, this airbag wasn't really connected, so I don't know, it's normally you're supposed to actually have to pull this out and unplug it, but when we popped the airbag out, this was not there. So anyways, there's this under the steering column. After you get that orange retaining clip, there's obviously, whatever you pull the retaining, that orange clip, the harness that's connected under there, that's the thing you need to disconnect apparently. But just make sure you do that, I guess, because that's what the kid in the video did, and that's what we're gonna do. I don't know what this is for. It could be for the horn. I haven't gotten it off yet, but I'm almost there. But you gotta get that clip off. But I'm gonna go get a breaker bar and a 16 and fuck this wheel up. So Pittsburgh can't do it. I'm gonna be using the Pittsburgh breaker. So, oh, it's not deep enough. Oh, well, we fucked up. So need a breaker because with the 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter, we're gonna be sick, bro. Wait, did I crack it? No. I don't know what's going on. Oh, no, I did. That was alarmingly way too loose. I will say that. That was not good. So if your wheel is super dude, so I recently found out this car has been in an accident. I don't know, maybe the airbag was deployed, because when they put a new one in, they didn't fucking connect it, and this was like not tight at all. So I'm glad we're doing this wheel. This is gonna be safer to put a wheel without an airbag in, because clearly we didn't have one this whole time. So I'm just gonna leave this with a little bit of thread, and I'm just gonna try and, oh, or not. I'm gonna put that in just a little bit, just so we have a little bit of thread, and I'm gonna, look at that, you don't smack yourself in the face, because it could be more, I'm sure on a car that's been not touched, that would be a lot harder to do, but whoever the dipshit that put this together last time, not good. Anyways, wheel is off. This is the, oh, look at that, better little view on the connector that I have yet to find out how to pull off. We'll get back to you on this one. Okay, so anyways, this clip is not hard. I don't know why. I was being a pussy. All you gotta do is pull it really hard and you disconnect it. Assuming that this is for the horn, I'm pretty sure, because it's not an airbag thing. So yeah, this is the horn. I don't know. If it's not, who cares? It's unplugged. The wheel is completely off. So this is interesting. I mean, look at this. This is a tortured wheel. That M stitching is not even the same color anymore. It's like melted to get, I don't know, it's not good. Compared to the new wheel, it's gonna be sick. But what we're gonna do from here is slap the hub on, apparently. And now I'm stoked, because now we can actually put the wheel on. As in terms of getting the airbag diffused, or the airbag light, I will see. I ordered the resistor, like I said. I don't know where I'm supposed to splice in. And I doubt the video that I'm referencing covers that, so we shall see. Got it?
Yeah.
You recording?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a combination. Here's what you have to do. Cut this airbag light or airbag harness from the steering wheel, strip the insulation off, and then strip the wires back so you can actually use the wires. If you don't have a soldering iron, don't fear, because you can always do what I just did. Make this awful Y shape. So this is, yeah. Again, there's a reason I ordered 3 of these resistors. So this is kind of our one shot. I mean, it's pretty tight. Like, you can pull these back very gently and nothing will happen. Obviously, I'm going to tape it up a little bit, but not very much. It's going in the steering column, so if it catches fire, I'll be the first person to know. This is fine. But if you can solder it, just solder it. But I don't have a soldering iron, and I want this done right now. So this is what we're doing. This is the method. These twist ties are cheap. They're a lot cheaper than a soldering iron. And other than that, I mean, that's your option. So. Whatever works, right? Just gonna, it's not gonna bend it too bad. I'm just gonna tape these bad boys together. How did this go? Yep, like that. Cool. So if, by all means, this should mean that we won't have an airbag light, but I don't have very much faith in this. So we will find out. I'll report back to you. Okay, so I know it's really dark, but Cole is currently wiring up the ground. This is straight from Renown's website. They provide you with a zip tie. That was not good enough, so I got a different zip tie, and you're literally supposed to zip tie the ground to the hub. This is just a word of some feedback, because this is not a paid promotion to Renown. If you know that, I guess, if you're making hubs, why wouldn't you just put a hole in the hub? Because this makes it really inconvenient. I mean, this is the longest, this is the hardest part that we've been struggling with so far. I just think it's a weird way to secure a ground, but that is what they say on their website, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna quickly go over this, and this is directly from Renown's website. As you can see, this here is the ground for the horn. You're supposed to ground it to the hub. As you can see, they use a zip tie. They provided us with a zip tie. It was too small, so we used one of our own. A black zip tie like what this is. I'm more disappointed in the way that their instructions tell you to ground it, because the best method that a company came up with was to zip tie the ground to the hub. My only issue with that is that, as you can see, I'm pressing the horn button, right? Pressing the horn button, now watch. See if I can get it again. That's just because it's not making a good ground. As you can see, I have pressure on it, so I'm making a ground. You take it off? No. So, I'm gonna make sure, I think I'm just gonna tape it or something. I'm gonna come up with a way to make this grounded, because clearly we got the horn to work, so why would we go through all this trouble just for it to work like never? Due to the way that, by design and per their instructions, I'm not necessarily mad at the product, I'm more mad at how they they instruct you to install it, if that makes sense, because that's ridiculous. Even that's not even my standard, and I do some crazy shit and some low quality shit, but this is insane to zip tie it to the hub. Anyways, that's my little rant. Obviously, if you didn't see, you just want to bolt your wheel to the hub, and then you can line your wheel up, make sure it's straight. Our airbag resistor does look like it's working because there is no light on the dash for that. So seemingly the resistor works. So if you want to do a ghetto method like I did, it works. You don't have to have a soldering iron. But with that being said, we're going to ground this better. I'm going to put this under panel back on and we'll be ready to go. So yeah. Okay, so the wheel is in. Horn still doesn't work. I need to find out a better way to ground this probably in the next coming days. I guess I'll have to sand part of the hub because obviously you can't make a connection through paint, so I don't know what the thought process was and why they used a zip tie to ground it. Obviously when you, I mean, it's hard to ground through paint in the first place, like you really can't, obviously with enough pressure, but the whole point to have an area to use as a ground, I just don't understand. The only thing I'm complaining about is if somebody wasn't aware of this, they would think their fucking horn doesn't work if they're not familiar with how a ground works, because if that is a demonstration you use in your website or on your website in your installation guide, I just don't understand that. How is there not a better method? They also, these are their hubs too, the Renown hub. So you would think that they would at least put a ground location, even if there wasn't a hole, but like a sanded part, something that didn't get painted. I understand that it's probably easier to paint the whole thing without sectioning off a little spot that isn't unpainted, or when it's finished, just sand that back down, because now I have to pull this whole hub off again, sand it down, just to get the horn to work. So, I mean, other than that, the wheel looks good. It matches the rest of the stuff. Unfortunately, it's too dark, but I will, I'll definitely be in contact with Renown and just give them my honest review. I will link them to this video, so if anybody from Renown is watching, thanks for the wheel. It looks sick, but I think there's a few flaws. I didn't get the resistors that I ordered. Luckily, we rigged something up that worked. We got a total of 12 bolts for some reason instead of, I guess maybe they're just extra, but they threw us 12 bolts instead of the 6. So we have an extra bolt, or we have extra bolts. We don't have the resistors that I ordered. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's a cool idea, and the fact that we took the extra step to get the horn to work is why I'm disappointed. If I had no intention to connect the horn, I wouldn't be mad about it, obviously, but we obviously went through all the proper steps, and the horn doesn't work. So, anyways, just one more thing. I know it's hard to pick up on camera, but there's a chip here. See this? There's a chip here. This is not done by us. This is literally how we received it. And it was all wrapped up properly too, so I don't know how that even happens. There's also a chip on the back of the wheel. I forget what side it is. Yeah, where'd it go?
Somewhere in there.
There's a chip on the back of the wheel, which is also not something that's super sweet. Anyways, the fit and finish is great, aside from the wheel came all right with that minor chip, and then the hub came pretty good with that minor chip. So actually, none of them came spotless. And if you're trying to keep your shit nice and you're spending $400 on a setup, it's just a little annoying. And I'm sorry to bitch at this whole thing, but I mean, come on. Anyways, just had to throw that in there. Holy shit, it's dark. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I know it was a short video, but it was an install. You guys will see more on this wheel in the coming videos. I would like to make like a proper review and see if Renown gets back to me and see what they say, because I really like this wheel, but it is not a cheap setup by any means, so I can't lie. I mean, you'd say you'd be pretty disappointed, right?
Yeah.
If this was your setup?
That's frustrating, for sure.
It's a little frustrating because you spend so much money. Yeah. And
well, it's not like we're trying to go off the script. We did exactly what they said.
Did exactly by the website. So. Because why would you zip tie a ground? That's something that you don't do. Anyways, that's enough of me bitching. Thank you guys for watching this video. Follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.